And with that, I'm excited now to bring on our next set of presenters from Nutanix and HYCU. Welcome to Hina, Director of Product Marketing, and Shiva, Technical Solutions Architect from Nutanix and HYCU. We'll switch on the video now. Take it away.
Thank you for the introduction and welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us today to learn more about data protection and disaster recovery with Nutanix and HYCU. Can we move on, Shiva? So today the agenda is to go over the Nutanix Mine solution that we have architected together with HYCU and talk about some of the key benefits that our customers are experiencing with the solution. Then Shiva is going to cover about the what and how we've built this amazing solution and integrated solution together between Nutanix and HYCU. I'll talk about some of the key benefits that our customers are experiencing with this solution, talk about customer reference, and then leave you with some additional resources to learn more about Nutanix Mine with HYCU. So with that, let's get started. Nutanix has really pioneered the hyper-converged market and continues to be a leader with a growing customer base of 19,000 customers who really trust us with their critical applications and data. And if you are an existing Nutanix customer, you would have really experienced that one-click simplicity and web-scale scalability with the Nutanix core platform. But as we look forward, we are going from being a hyper-converged infrastructure company to a hybrid multi-cloud company. And to do so, we are building a single hybrid multi-cloud platform with unparalleled simplicity so that you can focus on business outcomes rather than worry about the underlying infrastructure. And while we modernize the entire infrastructure stack from on-prem private cloud to public cloud, data protection is a critical piece of this digital transformation. And that's where Nutanix Mine can really help you simplify your data backup and recovery needs. And in today's section, this is what we're going to focus on. Thanks, Shiva. So to understand how Nutanix Mine with HYCU can protect your data, we need to take a step back and begin with the core Nutanix cloud platform. So in any traditional data center, as what you see on the screen on the left-hand side, there are separate silos of compute, networking, storage, and in some cases also virtualization if it is a virtualized environment. And over the last couple of years, Nutanix has really perfected this infrastructure stack and has busted multiple of these IT silos by converging all these layers into a single software-defined platform. But there's also a very complex stack of backup infrastructure comprising of multiple point products for backup, disaster recovery software, target storage, and long-term archival of your data. So you can see that if you combine these two pieces of infrastructure, that is your primary production environment and your secondary storage for backup and archival, the overall stack is very complex, it's very costly to manage, and it requires multiple specialized teams. There are point products, specific functionality for, they offer specific functionality for backup, for recovery, for storage of these backup, and then thinking about the long-term retention of the backed up data. So what we are doing with Nutanix Mine is that we are really extending the core strength of the Nutanix cloud platform that we've built and mastered over the years to now simplify data protection and cloud data management in customers' secondary data centers, which is basically used for data backup and recovery. So what you see here is that Nutanix Mine really inherits all the goodness of the Nutanix cloud platform to make data protection easy, integrated, and invisible. The beauty of the Mine solution is that it is designed to be a dedicated standalone cluster to be deployed in your secondary environments, where enterprise backup software from HYCU runs in a hyper-converged manner. So it really serves as a single turnkey solution for backup, storage, recovery, long-term archival of data, and addresses the challenges that we just outlined, and brings it all on the single Nutanix platform. But to look at how we really achieve it, I'm going to pass it on to Shiva to go over how we've really, designed this turnkey solution between Nutanix and HYCU. So go for it, Shiva.
Thank you very much, Tuhina. So as far as HYCU with or Nutanix Mine with HYCU solution goes, there are some of the high-level points that I'd like to start with. Our solution is tailor-made for Nutanix-led data center. So if you have any of your Nutanix components running in your data center, I'm talking about AHV or ESX running on Nutanix or Nutanix files. I mean, Nutanix Mine with HYCU is the go-to solution to protect all of your diverse Nutanix workloads in one simplified secondary storage with HYCU. And in addition to that, it's not just about protecting your Nutanix-led data center. It's also about protecting more than just Nutanix-led components, like non-Nutanix environments like VMware running on your 3-tier infrastructure. I'm talking about some of those leftover VMware clusters running in your traditional architecture that you're probably thinking about moving them to Nutanix. You might also have some physical servers that are going through a specific kind of a roadmap to be converted into a virtual machine. So all of those infrastructures can be protected by your HYCU and Nutanix Mine. In addition to that, the Nutanix Mine with HYCU is extremely simple to deploy, easy to maintain, and it's very quick to upgrade. And from a security standpoint, our solution is probably one of the best because we not only offer the overall air gap backup security, we also provide a ransomware-proof backup strategy for all of your primary infrastructure. And when it comes to Nutanix Mine with HYCU, our solution is extremely scalable, be it with regards to HYCU or with regards to Nutanix Mine, where you can really start small and keep adding additional resources as you grow. And the best part is as and when you add resources on your Nutanix Mine, you not only increase the capacity, but also its performance capability. And last but not the least, the combination of Nutanix Mine and HYCU is probably one of the most cost-efficient solutions because the amount of security and performance that we offer in this combined solution is almost like at the fraction of a cost when you try to compare the solution with our contemporary competitors. So that is exactly the reason why we always position our solution as one of the most cost-efficient yet an enterprise-ready high-performance data protection solution. Now, how does it really work in an environment, right? So I basically have two use cases to cover. The first use case that I want to talk about is how do we provide a solid ransomware-proof backup strategy for a Nutanix-led data center. Now, in this particular slide, you can actually see a typical Nutanix environment, right? You have AHV or ESX hosting multiple applications like Microsoft SQL databases or Oracle databases, SAP HANA. And on the other hand, you also have Nutanix files serving SMB shares or NFS exports. Now, what you can have with Nutanix Mine is it is basically a one-stop shop for protecting all of your workloads on your Nutanix environments. And this Nutanix Mine solution is basically powered by Nutanix objects, and HYCU in turn basically does backup of all of your Nutanix-led workloads, be it AHV or applications or your Nutanix file shares, in an extremely seamless and high performance manner. And all of these backups are basically performed on your Nutanix worm storage. So basically, when you have your backups written on your worm storage, they can be considered to be 100% immutable, which are safe from any of your malware or ransomware attacks. And on top of it, we can also ensure your backups are truly air-gapped. I mean, as you can see in this diagram, I've basically done the job of splitting the backup and the management path, and your entire network can be isolated from your production environment so that even if your production environment gets compromised, your backups are still secure. And even if your backups are, the security of your backups are breached, we will still be able to retain the integrity of all of your backups stored within your Nutanix Mine. So in addition to that, let's say if you wanted to do secondary backups to tapes or secondary backups to unused storage that's left over in your data center, or if you wanted to do backups to the cloud, we can always add additional tiers of backups, be it to your public cloud or be it to your to your tape infrastructure or to your unused storage. That's how flexible we are when it comes to protecting your primary data center. Now, the second use case that I wanted to talk about is about protecting non-Nutanix data centers. So what do I really mean by that? It basically deals with protecting VMware clusters on a traditional 3-tier architecture. It could be any storage vendor. I'm talking about NetApp or Pure or EMC arrays. And you can also have the same kind of applications that you would run on your Nutanix environment. I'm talking about Microsoft SQL, Exchange, Oracle, MySQL. And there might also be cases where you can actually have some physical servers. There might be n number of reasons why you still haven't converted those physical servers to virtual machines. And those are valid reasons, but you still need to protect them, right? So, and these servers can be hosting like ginormous SMB shares or NFS exports, or they could be running legacy applications, but we still have the ability to protect all of these workloads that are non-Nutanix in the same way we protect your Nutanix infrastructure using Nutanix Mine with HYCU, be it with regards to air-gap backup security, be it with regards to protecting your workloads on worm storage to protect from ransomware, or tiering those backups to cloud or to tapes or to unused storage. It's basically the exact level of feature and functionality like the way we would protect your Nutanix environment. So overall, Nutanix Mine with HYCU is the go-to solution to protect your Nutanix and your non-Nutanix virtualized infrastructure. So I would pass this back to Tuhina when it comes to talking about the value and the reasons why Nutanix Mine with HYCU is such a hit, or it's a popular solution with our customers. Tuhina, over to you.
Yeah, thank you, Shiva. No, this is a great overview of the solution. And as you can tell, Nutanix Mine with HYCU is a very powerful data protection solution. That is really a seamless extension of the Nutanix platform for primary applications and HYCU's enterprise capabilities for data protection. So the Mine architecture, you can see, definitely helps you to design a resilient antidote for ransomware, as Mine is designed to be its own cluster that you can air gap and network segment to achieve extra levels of protection. So it's a very, very highly resilient and secure platform to store your backups. Also, because of the use of the Nutanix platform, we are delivering a very fast performant and high levels of resiliency to meet or even exceed the SLAs that you might have with your customers or with the rest of the business entities that transact with you. Additionally, we've shown you the way in which Mine can help you to be more efficient, and it really allows you to focus more on projects that will help you deliver on your business outcomes rather than spending resources on keeping the lights on. It's very simple to use. The platform really provides you one-click simplicity of managing both your primary infrastructure as well as your backup and storage infrastructure using a single consumer-grade dashboard. So it's very simple to use in that sense, and you don't require any specialized skills to start using the Mine platform for your backups. And in the end, it's all about freedom of choice. Mine really supports a wide variety of applications and services that it can back up. It has a wide series of cloud archival options, so you can go to either Nutanix objects for long-term archival, or you can connect to public cloud and store your data there. Basically, I would say like colder data, which you don't want on a hot tier of backup, you can always seamlessly tier it off to public cloud. And again, it is available on many of the platforms that the Nutanix software supports. So think about different hardware platforms that you are standardized on. Nutanix Mine supports them. So let's go through a recent customer success story and see how our customers have successfully adopted Mine. What you see here is an example from Ballester Hermanos. Ballester Hermanos is the leading food distributor in Puerto Rico and uses Nutanix to ensure an uninterrupted supply chain of businesses and communities island-wide. By using Nutanix Mine with HYCU, Their IT team really experiences no interruption while backing up SQL servers. And they got an up and running platform to start using within 20 minutes rather than hours or days that they used to spend just deploying the solution with their older legacy data protection solution. So they've really gained some efficiency there in terms of time. And not just 60 to 70% in time savings, but there's also a reduction in recovery time for them, which has gone down from 8 hours to 15 minutes. So all these efficiency really, clicks the simplicity, cost effectiveness, and high availability checkboxes for our customer. Next slide. So I think what's really important to note here is that you want to try the solution, right? Before committing, it's a great opportunity for you to try the solution. And for doing that, there is an option called test drive available. So test drive really gives you an option to configure backup jobs and policies on a web-based trial solution where you don't have to commit to buying any hardware or securing any software licenses from Nutanix or HYCU. So it's just a browser-based trial solution where you can register and get started. What you get is like a 4 hours reserved instance where you can go and log in and start playing around with the solution and taking it for the test drive. And that's why it's called test drive. So you don't have to really, ask for a POC. It's very self-paced, very easy with a lot of guidance and recorded walkthrough of the entire solution to experience it for yourself at your own pace. So I would really encourage you to just spend 10 to 15 minutes, register for the test drive, and get started and explore it at your own pace. And then if you want to learn more about the solution, please visit the Nutanix Mine website, and there's a lot of great information, a lot of good content available there for you to learn about what really is the differentiator and how Nutanix Mine with HYCU can help you simplify your data protection needs. And if there are any additional questions as you go through the test drive experience or you start learning from our website or other resources that are available, feel free to reach out to us on the email addresses provided here. So with that, we are on time, and thank you for joining us today. And if there are any questions, feel free to reach out to us. So thank you. So let's see if we've got any questions coming up. All right, I do see some great questions around ransomware, probably because you covered a pretty good amount of our solution around ransomware protection, Shiva. So I do see a question, let's take that. The question is, what would happen if a malware or a hacker breaches security and gains access to backup stored on worm-enabled object storage? Will they be able to encrypt, corrupt, or delete the backups?
Yeah, that's an excellent question, right? Because no matter how good your security is, there might be chances where the security could be breached. And what happens, if someone who's not supposed to be accessing those backups has gained the access? The answer is no. They won't be able to do anything because the worm feature offered in Nutanix objects is a hardware level feature. Unlike other solutions out there where they basically offer backup immutability on a software level, this is a hardware level feature, meaning that even if I'm a super admin, right, and even if I'm able to access these backups, I won't be able to delete or corrupt or even modify those backups or any of the data residing on this worm storage because it's a hardware level feature, and the data's integrity is going to be maintained until its retention time. As a matter of fact, like when customers make use of Nutanix objects and when they enable the worm feature, they will be provided with a disclaimer saying that please be absolutely sure about the worm setting, especially with the retention, because once you enable that setting, there is no way that you could reverse that. So that's how strong this worm feature is.
Yeah, I think I'd just like to add another point that once the objects in a bucket that has long configured, created, it cannot be deleted or modified in any way. So except for the time until your worm timer expires. So the great thing about this feature is that even if you have admin credentials, you cannot really go and manipulate any data that's really stored on that object in a bucket. So in that sense, it really preserves the integrity of your backup data. And it's like a tamper-proof solution to protect against any ransomware event. I see another question coming up, and it's around recovery. So the question is, how fast is the recovery of production workloads when they're impacted by a ransomware event?
So we can actually offer tons of options here, right? Because especially in a Nutanix-led data center, HYCU makes use of intelligent use of Nutanix snapshots and also does have optimized recovery from Nutanix objects. But if you have Nutanix snapshots, then the recovery is going to be instantaneous because A, snapshots by themselves are immutable, and B, any Nutanix snapshot invoked by HYCU are basically hidden from a normal user. Like even if you log into Nutanix Prism, you won't be able to view those Nutanix snapshots. They're only accessible by HYCU, meaning that these snapshots are safe, they're hidden. And if you have basically retained those additional snapshots, we could make use of those snapshots to instantaneously recover all of your workloads. And case in point, this actually happened with one of our customers. I mean, I cannot share the name of that customer for obvious reasons, but they were impacted by a ransomware attack. Both of their primaries and all of their workloads were basically impacted. And the only thing that was not impacted was the HYCU virtual machine. So when they called our support, the good thing was they had Nutanix snapshots enabled, and we made use of those Nutanix snapshots to instantaneously recover from all of those, all of those infected workloads from those ransomware attack.
Yeah, that's a great story, Shiva. I think we still have time to take one last question. It's again, I think we've covered ransomware pretty much in detail. So let's take this one. So the question is, since Nutanix Mine with HYCU utilizes object storage to store backups, can it offer similar level of backup performance offered on contemporary NAS or HYCU storage solutions?
That is a very good question, right? Because there is this perception that object storage is always meant for cheap storage, right? It's meant for unstructured data. That's not the case anymore. I mean, Nutanix objects is one of those examples where you could still have best of both worlds. You can have a storage that is affordable, but at the same time high performance. This basically happens in two ways. Number one, let's start with Nutanix objects. Nutanix objects really does some clever tiering between your SSD and your HDD tiers, which actually offers a really high level of read and write performance. And on top of it, HYCU actually has optimized its backup performance purely on object storage. So the combination of HYCU and Nutanix objects, when put together, its backup performance is pretty comparable and sometimes even better than, HYCU, the same HYCU solution doing backups to iSCSI or NAS-based storage. So in a sense, you actually have a true advantage, the best of both worlds, a solution that is cost efficient, a solution that is high performing, and a solution at the same time which is highly secure at a very affordable offering. So
yeah, I completely agree with you, Shiva, on that. And speaking of Nutanix objects, I just want to add that our core differentiator with Nutanix objects is that it's highly performant, unlike many other contemporary object storage solutions that are available in the market today. So while it is great for backup and archival use cases, we have also seen Nutanix objects being adopted for core cloud native and active line of business applications that our customers are using, only because it is highly performant. So if you choose to use Nutanix Mine with HYCU, which is modeled on objects, you will actually see the throughput is pretty high. We've actually seen pretty good performance numbers for our customers who are using Mine with HYCU on objects. And typically the storage throughput can go up to 95%. And of course, as you add more spindles and more SSD, your throughput will increase. So as Shiva said, I completely concur that it's a great solution where you get great performance, but as well as the total cost of ownership is not as high as a typical, NAS solution. Thank you. With that, I think we've covered pretty much all the questions that we have.
Cool.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us.
Thank you very much.